Welcome. In front of me is a Samsung Galaxy Tab A9, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at the device, along with a spec look. In any case, let's just jump straight into it. So get to cut our way in, slide that out, and right here we get our tiny little tablet, because it is on a smaller side, being at 8.7 inches. So that's basically the device right here. So just going to put my hand over it. You can see it is pretty small. Where's the power button? Oh, there we go. Let's put it up. So I'm just going to keep it in the frame, because the next thing that I'm going to show is how much peripherals we got in the box, which is basically none. Paperwork and cable, and that's about it. So cool. We almost don't get anything in a box. So let's move over to the tablet. Now I will start off by saying this device is a budget device. At least I would classify as such, as it comes at a price of about 180 euros. So it is on a cheap side. Now I am going to check how accurate this price is by searching how much it actually costs on the Polish equivalent of Amazon, and it is below 1000 PLN. The first one that I can find comes at about 799 PLN. So that is about, well, actually 200 bucks, give or take, like 20 bucks. So it looks like it's actually a little bit more expensive than what is listed right here, or about the same. So anyway, a little bit below 200 bucks. That's what you get. Anyway, so what we get actually is a 8.7 inch display. It is a TFT LCD, no high refresh rate of any kind of sorts. It is a running resolution of 800 by 1340, so that is a pretty dog shit resolution, I'm not gonna lie. It boasts an 81% screen to body ratio with 179 pixels per inch. So even less than the 9 Plus or A9 Plus that I have right here. And that already was a pretty low resolution and just general like spec for a device. Anyway, continuing on, we have a 5100 mAh battery that is powering a processor Helio G99. And in terms of internals, we get 64 gigabytes of storage with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and you can bump it up to 128 gigabytes storage with 8 gigabytes of RAM. So the same thing that you can get for the 9 Plus. We also have a dedicated SD card spot in here, so you can pop in any kind of SD card and expand the storage probably up to like a terabyte. So that would be pretty nice. So when buying this device, if you're planning to use this for more than a year, I would probably urge you to go with the 128 gigabytes of storage, just because it comes with more RAM and more storage, meaning you will have less problems later on, and the device will feel a little bit snappier compared to the 4 gigabyte version, which being sold at end of the 2023, this shouldn't even be an option that is offered to anyone. This is such a dog shit option, it shouldn't exist. Anyway, let's talk about the cameras now. So at the front we have basically non-existent camera. It's a 2 megapixel sensor. It doesn't even specify what it can record at. Then at the back we have an 8 megapixel that can record at 1080p 30 frames. Nothing really great here. So moving on to another disappointment is the charging speed right here. And we do have, like I mentioned, 5100 mAh battery that can be charged at 15 watts. Now, just to put that in perspective, 15 watts is basically what you would charge your device 7 years ago. And Samsung is notorious for just basically showing you middle finger to any kind of newer tech for charging. I assume they are still scared that their batteries will start blowing up, considering they're skimping on costs on the batteries. And then they're also skimping on the charging speeds, because if we skimp on one, we can't give you the good charging speed because the batteries might start exploding again. So you basically get severely outdated charging speeds for devices that are basically released in 2023. Now, putting that into perspective, there are companies, manufacturers of phones as an example, that give you 120 watt charging speeds, nearly 10 times faster charging speeds than what this device can basically offer, or the Tab 9 Plus. And don't worry, these are kind of mid-range devices. What isn't a mid-range device is this dog shit. This is an $1,800 device, or 1800, right? It's $1,800. So this piece of shit also comes with 15 watt charging. Actually no, sorry, 22 I think. But it's still such a meaningless jump that it's just a middle finger for the price that you get to pay for this folding trash. So I don't have any sympathy for shitting on this as much as I do, just because what you get is a insult, not really a product. And let's be honest, Samsung isn't in the business of selling you products, they're in the business of utilizing the products, which is you. And this is basically no different. It's a garbage offer. Even at the price, it might be semi-attractive, but I genuinely have no sympathy for Samsung anymore, as they tend to make the users' lives more annoying with their products, and I wouldn't recommend picking this up just for that single fact. Now, running down the infrared here to kind of give you the pros and cons. There is no pros as far as I can see. Maybe the price if you want to classify that, but I would prefer to pay more and have a better device rather than sacrifice my integrity for this trash and just have a good price for something that isn't even offering a value for what you get to pay. And the downsides right here would be things like the processor being kind of slow, the resolution of this device being garbage. Keep in mind, this is Samsung. They produce displays. They produce insanely good displays when it comes down to it. Most manufacturers buy displays from them. So any good AMOLED, OLED displays that you get to see, they're primarily Samsung's. Hell, even the foldable ones, also only Samsung makes. So them including a TFT LCD display in here is just like a middle finger. Screw you, we know you will buy this because it says Samsung, kind of like Apple fanboys in a way. So that's not good. They could have put in even an AMOLED display. It's not a big one, so they could have gotten away with it. Bring up the price just a little bit and give the users a significantly better experience over this poor excuse of a display that you get right here with this crappy resolution. So that being said, another thing, the starting version of this at 64 and 4 gigabytes, sorry, is again way too low for a starting model at the basically end of 2023. That's not really good. The charging speed, again, a massive L right there. Battery, I would say, is okay. It could be bigger for a device this size, but I would say it's sufficient. So yeah, you basically get nothing really worth the value in here. Now, I am gonna give one recommendation for people that might be debating, for instance, between the 9 Plus, and you don't mind spending a little bit more, meaning for the 9 Plus. There is a significantly better device that will offer you a leagues better experience compared to what this can do, or the 9 Plus. And unfortunately, that is a Chinese device, but it's basically sold in US as well, if you're wondering, and it's the Xiaomi Pad 6. This is the default 6. If you want to splurge more, you can go for the 6 Pro, which will be even better than the latter, or the former, actually. So let me start off by just kind of give you the rundown. In terms of the price comparison, it's at the same price as the 9 Plus. 9 Plus and 9 in terms of Samsung's compare very closely. This one will be slower and smaller, so it's a better comparison to the 9 Plus. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. So if you're looking for a small tablet, this one obviously will be small, but I don't think it's worth it, considering this costs nearly $200. The Xiaomi Pad 6 costs $300, so not much more. But you get just significantly better experience. There is this is like night and day difference that you will experience. So number one, the display might not be an AMOLED or OLED display, but it is an LCD IPS at least, so it will give you better colors, high refresh rate at 144, so that is really good, better brightness, 11 inches display at 1800 by 2880, so again, pixel density significantly better right there, with resolution being high. The processor right there obviously will be just leagues ahead of this one, being a Snapdragon 870, more RAM, bigger battery at 8800, faster charging speed at 33 watts. So yeah, in general, every aspect of that device is going to be closer to a flagship device at a fraction of the cost compared to what you get right here. And that's really why I recommend spending a little bit more compared to this one. It costs basically as much as the 9 Plus, because you do get a significantly better user experience. And when it comes down to using your device for more than a year and just not kind of trying to rage at it, because trying to opening up will basically take ages, or you know, your storage gets clogged up with garbage applications, and just the system of Samsung already taking a decent amount of space to start off with. So yeah, I do recommend picking up something else over this one. But anyway, with that being said, hopefully you found this very helpful, informative, and you did, don't forget to smash like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.